So welcome back to our You Can't Ask That series. So I've got a really great question today. Does anything predict whether somebody will be successful in getting off meth? I think there's a couple of things. There's a couple of predictors. The key ones, I think, are always about readiness to change. And often we have a phrase, that people have to hit rock bottom before they turn around. Sometimes that's true, but not always. And I think that age is often a factor and what's going on in that person's life. So generally, if you're in enough pain and you've had enough suffering, that is generally when people will want to get help. So that's why the saying, people need to hit rock bottom. That said, if you're suffering and in pain, you only got one strategy usually that you're using to fix that. So, and often that's using drugs to make you feel better, because it does make you feel better. It makes you forget everything. So, but definitely, long-term professional help obviously helps enormously. And one of the predictive factors for us when we're looking at it is that we want to make sure that a client has really good family support or partner support, because we definitely know that that's a success predictor. And particularly one of the things that we do at the Whitehaven Clinic is encourage families and partners to come in and actually work with us and do their own program as well, so that everybody's on the same page, everyone's talking the same language, everyone has the same vocabulary and the same concepts, because there's nothing worse, I think, for a client to be doing really well in their journey in recovery and then having their partner and family sort of unwittingly trigger them, and through thinking they're doing the right thing, the loving thing, but in actual fact they are re-triggering that client to continue using or enabling that person as well. Definitely age is a factor. I find that men in their mid-30s just seems to be an age group that are sort of getting to that point where they're starting to look at having family and having children. So they tend to be a little bit more open to change. Although that said, having children can also be a trigger for some people with drug use. Relationships, I think, definitely, like I said before, having a really strong network of good, healthy support people is imperative. I think it's really important. And I definitely think having a really good routine and structure as well. So you're actually filling your day with meaningful, purposeful activities. So it's not about sort of billing your day in 6-minute increments kind of thing, but actually having a structure where you're doing things that keep you healthy and things that you love doing. And therefore, it sort of keeps you in balance. It keeps you more grounded. And I think the most important part is actually about the motivation of the client. So we never know when people want to change. And we have people coming and seeing us all the time that say, I want to turn my life around, I want to change. And then the following week, they're back using again. So it's not that they're not serious about it. It's just that sometimes, when you go to counselling and you're doing a program, it's an intense program at the Whitehaven Clinic. And so what does that do? It uncovers all of the things that you've been trying to hide for a really long time. And so normally your automatic resolution to that would be to go and use, because that masks fear, it masks all the things that you're experiencing. And it brings back a numbness and a confidence that you might not necessarily feel normally. But generally, when we're working with clients, we sort of make them really aware of that. We help them in terms of looking at the ways that we can help support them medically, but also how can we actually have people in a really strong support network around you to help you see that through.